Hi, I'm Emily, Program and Education Manager for Wye Marsh Wildlife Center. We're here celebrating World Migratory Bird Day. This year's theme is Birds Connect Our World. What is migration? Well, migration is the movement from one place to another that animals do each year for breeding or for food. Ontario has 500 species of birds, and many of those are migratory. Few of my favorites are the red-winged blackbird, the great blue heron, and the wood duck. The song of the red-winged blackbird is a definite sign of spring. Red-winged blackbirds can be found all over the United States and come into Ontario for their breeding season. These guys are easily identified by their black bodies and a red patch with yellow on their wings. These birds like to nest in cattails and can be found all around wetland areas and fields. The great blue heron is the largest heron species in Canada, standing almost 4 feet tall. Great blue heron moves south in the winter, through Mexico, even into Cuba. There's actually been colonies found in Colombia, Venezuela, and even the Galapagos Islands. The heron can be identified by its white head with a black plume, long neck, and its blue and gray colors. When they're flying, these birds can be confused with cranes. So herons tend to tuck their heads into their shoulders, where cranes fly with them outstretched. Blue herons like to nest in wooded swamps or on islands, and they forage in shoreline areas and all in wetlands. The wood duck comes up from the United States and into Ontario as far north as James Bay. The male wood duck can be easily identified by its beautiful patterns of greens, coppers, blues. It has a crested head, a white chin patch, and a red eye ring. These wood ducks like to nest in forests on the edges of waters, so around marshes, ponds, rivers. Well, all of these birds are dependent on wetlands, and they can be found at Wye Marsh. Actually, 40% of all birds depend on freshwater marshes, and that is why it is so important to protect these areas.
Hi everybody, I'm Tom. This is Ernie. He's a Broadwinged Hawk. Broadwinged Hawks are a very common summer resident here at the Wye Marsh and in central Ontario. Often they're seen sitting on hydro wires as you drive down country roads. He is not considered a large hawk, he's a small to medium-sized hawk, but Broadwinged Hawks are truly migratory. Every September they'll gather in large groups of sometimes up to 700 birds at a time, in a huge big flock of birds will all migrate away at the same time. So in a nice sunny September day, you can look up against the white clouds and you'll see a huge swirl of birds soaring and soaring, and that's often a kettle of Broadwinged Hawks. They're migrating down to the southern parts of North America and South America, where they'll be able to find their food, which in the summer is lots of it around here. Things like frogs, small snakes, and things like that, even mice. But in the winter, much of that food here in Ontario is covered with ice and snow. So, like so many birds that migrate, he's going to follow his food, and although the food isn't moving, availability is going to be a big factor. So he'll move off to sunnier places, warmer places, where he can still find his mice, his frogs, his snakes, and things like that to survive. In the spring, he'll come back about mid-April, and when he comes back, he basically will nest in woodland habitats, very much like this area here in the Wye Marsh and around this area. These guys are very successful predators in this area, but they're not liable to be seen in the winter because they are so migratory. Our little bird Ernie here is, although highly migratory, is not able to migrate. He has been in several incidents in his life, but one of them was a car accident that left him quite badly damaged. He's not able to fly, and it makes him a perfect candidate for us here at the Wye Marsh, where we care for birds that simply can't survive on their own in the wild. This guy here, he's had leg injuries, he's had wing injuries, he's had several things that have all been tended to now and fixed. Sadly, some of those injuries are permanent. So what he'll do is he'll spend his time here with us at the Marsh, educating school groups and adults alike on the importance of raptors in the environment, in the biodiversity of the marsh and in this province.
Another amazing bird that you can see right now is the Arctic tern. Arctic terns have the longest migration out of any animal, nearly 40,000 kilometers. They winter in the Antarctica and then fly all the way to the Arctic for the summer breeding season. These terns are easily identified during the breeding season by a black-capped head, bright red bill and legs. They also have very angular wings and a forked tail. These Arctic terns like to nest on the ground in tundra, boreal forests, or on rocky beaches. Wye Marsh has some birding tips for you, and they all follow the 4 S's: shape, size, surrounding, and song. When you're looking at the shape of a bird, see if there's any distinctive features, like the shape of their bill. Do they have a crested head? What shape of wings and tail feathers do they have? When you're looking at their size, compare it to the other things that are around them. Are they a rather large bird or really small? And check out those surroundings. Are you in a forested area? Are you in a marsh or a field? And the song can be really helpful, and there are some great mnemonics that you can use to remember those bird calls. So get out and do some birding. On World Migratory Bird Day, we're asking you to share your bird sightings with us on social media, tagging Wye Marsh. You can also keep a list of those bird sightings and share it with eBird. It's a free app, and it's an amazing database that has all of the sightings in one place. Have a great day birding.